So without further ado, Bryan Stahl, I'll let you take it from here and introduce your wonderful guests.
Thank you, everyone. Forgive my notes. I do songwriting, but as far as being a great orator, not so much. First, I just want to say thank you all for coming to this Songwriter Showcase. It's the culmination of approximately 6 months of songwriter workshops that were sponsored by ArtsinStark. I want to thank ArtsinStark. Yes. I want to thank ArtsinStark for sponsoring this project and sponsoring arts in general. There were 2 goals to this project. The first one being to create an open collaborative forum for local songwriters just to come together. And the second one was to provide you, the members of the community, a chance to get a look at and a listen to the songwriters that live amongst you every day. Let's see. Oh, between April and October of this year, that first goal was met when we all got together at the Massillon Museum every other week. And through a series of metaphor exercises, discussions of rhyme schemes, and the importance of having a thesaurus with you, that first goal was met. And now we're all here as a community bringing that second goal to life. So I thank you all for that. And since we are a community of neighbors, family, friends who haven't met yet, I invite you all to be curious and inquisitive. If at any point you think of a question that you want to ask the performer about their work between songs, feel free to raise your hand and we'll share our answers with you, let you peek behind the curtain, so to speak. There is something magical about having music as a hobby, as a passion. Sherry already pointed out the books back there. Yeah, get a library card, check them out. Songwriting is a great hobby to have because there's always something new to learn. So playing music too, so feel free to do that. Now, not being one to make someone else do something that I wouldn't do myself, I'm going to go ahead and get us started. So, thanks. So yes, my name is Bryan Stahl. I work at a local music store by day and perform music by night. I've been songwriting since about 2011, and along the way I got it into my head that I knew enough to help other folks and kind of guide them in their efforts, so that's part of the reason why I put together the songwriting. This song is called Double Feature Dream. This one was inspired by just an image that I had in my head. It was me at my first job when I was 14 years old, working at the Magic City Drive-In in Barberton, Ohio, out in the ticket booth after the first show starts, but before the second show starts, when it's just quiet for like an hour or so, and there's nothing but headlights passing in the distance, and the occasional moth like running into the glass of the ticket booth. While I was there, I had this little, FM radio, and I got to listen to staticky, Magic 105.7, 97.5, that kind of thing. And that image is what stuck in my head. Flash forward to 15 years later, my wife and I are watching a documentary called Going Attractions, which I actually got here at the library. Get a library card, check it out. It's a documentary about drive-in movie theaters, and sure enough, I see a picture of the Magic City Drive-In where I worked. So that image, combined with a little bit of knowledge of the history, finally gave me some oomph to get a song written. So I came up with Double Feature Dream. Incidentally, the boss I had at the Magic City Drive-In recently passed away, so the song's not exactly dedicated to him. He wasn't in drive-in movie theaters his entire life, but he was my first boss, and went to the calling hours and was quite surprised by just the number of people that had come out. I got to see old coworkers and everything, so I guess this performance is dedicated to him. So. Double Feature Dream. parted ways with pleasure crowds, sold out summer small talk autumn now, and golden drive-in years come the dark. The box office was a winding line of countless cars, and phantom nights I'll haunt the lot when the last car goes home. 3 a.m. starlight shapes dust into ghost. Teenagers, families, lovers, young as I used to be. Decades of applause for a double feature dream. '75, that hard time, a Jericho wind chiseled on the trusses till the screen caved in. And I remember praying, take this stone from my neck, but God never wanted me giving up then, so I rebuilt that wreck. And phantom nights I'll haunt the lot when the last car goes home. 3 a.m. starlight shapes dust into ghost. Teenagers, families, lovers, young as I used to be. Decades of applause for the double feature dream. Behind the glass in my booth by the road, 4 or 5 sales, then an hour of radio, tempted by titles on the marquee sign. Wondering, starstruck, visit this drive-in of mine. How many seasons can I count to my soul? Has the business changed, or am I cranky and old? In golden drive-in years come the dark. Park me in the front row when the movie starts. And phantom nights I'll haunt the lot when the last car goes home. 3 a.m. starlight shapes dust into ghost. Teenagers, families, lovers, young as I used to be. Decades of applause for a double feature dream. Decades of applause for a double feature dream. Thank you very much. Double feature dream. I'm sure that brought back more than a few drive-in memories for some of you folks in here.
May I share about a drive-in?
Sure.
Do you know about the drive-in church?
I knew that they existed. I knew that they used drive-ins.
Well, the longest running drive-in church is in Orlando, Florida. My husband's family attended there. Both of his parents were unable to get around very well. And the church there was local drive-in, and they allowed them to use the drive-in theater for their church services. Everybody would drive in, and there would be a greeter at the booth. And of course, you had to have your refreshments, so you went to the refreshment stand and have
Communion wafers and wine,
your,
right?
no, your donuts and coffee. No, they brought the communion to your car. This has been going on since the late 1960s in Orlando, this church. Well, that was torn down, and then the church took up the mission, and they have it in their parking lot every Sunday. They built a building, and they roll out a pulpit, and the people still come in to the parking lot every Sunday, and they have the service. It's over the radio in your car.
Oh, okay. Nice.
On one of the frequencies, and so you can hear the minister speaking, and then everybody, same thing, that they go in the church and have their little thing. So the drive-in, in that sense, never died for these people.
Right.
So it lives on in another form for many, many people in that area. And there's some other ones in other parts of the United States, I understand, too. But the one
No, that documentary that I mentioned, it talked about that.
Okay.
A lot of them being used for Sunday services.
Yeah, and I committed a very bad faux pas. I went there with my husband for the first time with his family. And I was in a car I wasn't familiar with, so I was messing with the window buttons, and I started rolling the windows up and down in the car. And apparently, you're not supposed to, do things like that. You're supposed to be a little more reverent than that. But they did ask me back, so I guess it was okay.
Oh, thank you for sharing.
So that's my driving.
The next song is called Summer Satisfied. Now this one actually came about as a homework prompt from the songwriting workshops. We, I want to say it was July, maybe the beginning of August, but we were talking about like ways to describe summer. And time was running down in the session. I was like, okay, so everyone, take it home with you, put that in your head, write a song about summer, whatever that means to you, hazy days, whatever, write a song about summer. Well, I must have been counting the gray in my hair shortly before that, because I immediately started thinking of the end of summer and, things kind of changing and ending. So I ended up with a song called Summer Satisfied, which I think that's a quote somewhere, what is autumn but summer satisfied? Might be from a poet, or I may have made that up, I don't know. It sounds too good for me to have made it up, I don't know. But I wanted to give it a little more depth, so I put it in terms of a relationship. So I borrowed some facts from actual experiences, a couple different relationships, and mashed them together to create, an amalgam of one relationship, and set it, at the end of summer. It's going along, and it reaches its critical mass at the end of summer. So this is Summer Satisfied. It's the only one I don't have memorized. That's why I have the lyrics in front of me. Start again. I've been where this highway leads, one wheel 1,000 turns. At mirages marked in miles, and will or won't get burned. Rivers, roads, and you and I had time were met and made. Memory clear and candid, not a beast of abandoned grace. We were bashful by the day, brave in dusky haze. If sunset were a genie, granting favors as light plays, never would come a future's evening, the moon the only eye, and witness to every wish and lose of summer satisfied. Shimmer heat, a sleight of hand, a trick of August air. Apart from photos in a head on fire, we don't see us anywhere. Fortunes loose as easy your skin. We were bashful by the day and brave in dusky haze. If sunset were a genie granting favors as light fades, never would come a future's evening, the moon the only eye, and witness to every wish and lose of summer satisfied. Stare down from silent windows, how many stories high? Descending affection drives horizons, loving the life it tried. Brazen as it passes, you are patience to persuade. Phoenix wrist and spirit to cleanse mouth of medicine taste. Bashful by the day and brave in dusky haze. If sunset were a genie granting favors as light fades, never would come a future's evening, the moon the only eye, and witness to every wish and lose of summer satisfied. Thank you very much. Yes, of all my songs, that's probably the newest one, so hasn't quite settled in. No, it's okay. No, that'd be far too distracting. I'm trying to think of anything else I can really describe about that one. It's kind of one of those situations where you wanna protect the innocent kind of thing. So when you borrow those things from relationships, you want to keep them vague, but still get their essence down. Because there are two sides in any relationship, and it's important to honor both, yours as well as the other person's. So really proud of the way that one turned out. And finally, this last song. This is called Show Who They Are. Fans of Jimmy Stewart may recognize some of the lines in this. It was heavily inspired by a Jimmy Stewart movie, but I won't tell you which one. I will tell you it's not It's a Wonderful Life. It's not Vertigo. But some of it may seem familiar. And I was just watching it one day, and some of those lines really captured a good essence of innocence and self-awareness, and I wanted to capture that emotion in a song, so I kind of cobbled them together and wrote a story around them, kind of based on well, anyway, you'll again, protecting the innocent. Show who they are. Horizons lighter blue, joined with the night we'd been painting. Strokes of the brush would steady themselves, but sober had kept us waiting. Then sure as sun catches clouds on fire, that morning was one to be shared. We wanted old choices far away. We remembered how they let us there. Terrible to have done, but wonderful what we will do. Disbelief leans on lamps and moments of gold. No one who has small thoughts brought to a beer-sold bar pours from the largest glass. Show who they are. Show who you are. Show who we are. Disbelief leans on lamps and moments of gold. No one who has small thoughts run to a beer-sold bar, pours from the largest glass to show who they are, show who you are, show who we are. Could all our years be measured in dollar bills? Those talents would not have been used. Clear morning sky follows our lost lives. We grow what we've been given this time. Where did the new world in your palm come from, if not from a choice? And selfless decided from this gift rescues a frenzy of vice. And then sure as matches catch rising fire, cared for, respected and clean, leaning on lamps outside this bar, we found our hard-earned belief. Terrible to have done, but wonderful what we will do. Disbelief leans on lamps and moments of gold. No one who has small thoughts brought to a beer-sold bar, pours from the largest glass to show who they are, show who you are, show who we are. Thank you very much. Show who they are. Any guesses about the Jimmy Stewart movie? All right. I'm not going to tell you. That's part of the fun of songwriting, is sneaking those messages in there, keeping something really personal but totally out in the open. So yeah, keep that in mind. And again, Sherry, thanks for pointing out that there are books right over there. Get a library card. There are a couple books on songwriting over there. Check them out. That is it for me for the moment. I would like to introduce our next performer, a gentleman by the name of Jim Dime. He is going to come up and introduce a couple songs for us. Jim showed up at our very first songwriting workshop, and I was blown away by one of the songs that he played, and he's going to play that one for us tonight, I think. It's the fiddle one, correct, Jim?
For a nominal fee.
For a nominal fee. Jim Dime.
No. I'll try not to fall over and embarrass us all here. Someone asked me if I was Jim Dime. I said, well, I used to be. The older I get, the better I was. I grew up on a farm up in northern Ohio there on an old gravel road, and there were 8 kids in the family. And we had the gravel road went down and then it curved, and they didn't take us to town very often because there were 8 of us. And how many of you remember when the Nichols Bakery had little panel trucks that went all around, and they would, there's a hand, they'd go door to door, and so once a week the bakery truck would come around. We didn't have money, my mother would buy bread, a loaf of bread. My brother and I, he was a year younger, and we were around 10 or 11 then. This is called the Nichols Bakery. Every Thursday, the Nichols Bakery truck came down that gravel road again. Me and brother John was ready with our usual plan. When the driver slipped inside the house to flirt with older sister Sue, me and John went into action. We knew just what to do. I'd keep a lookout there where I could watch the kitchen door. John would slide inside the truck with a big long army coat he wore. Had pockets everywhere. Then he'd reappear with a guilty grin, pockets filled with fresh baked goods. We'd make another hasty getaway to our treehouse in the woods. I liked lady fingers, John liked jelly rolls, and a dozen chocolate donuts. We left nothing but the holes. When we waddled home for supper, Mom must have wondered why we never ate much on Thursdays, and we didn't ask for pie. Well, that was 30 years ago. Out in the bar is where I live. For those who do not know, that's where the Nichols Bakery is. I love to smell that bacon bread, buy goods from the company store. Once a year I mail a jelly roll to John in California. If anybody should ever ask me the best eating I ever did, it was all them Nichols donuts I went through as a kid. Yeah, I like lady fingers, John liked jelly rolls. I owe Nichols $1,000, I guess I'll just put that in my will. But I reckon they got their money's worth down through the years with me. I'm the #1 donut taster now at the Nichols Bakery. I weigh 400 pounds now, I'm happy as can be. #1 donut taster at the Nichols Bakery. John's a minister in Florida now. I always worked construction, and I'd come up through Navarre when I was the hungriest and smell that bread. Just came back from my daughter's house. She lives in Virginia, and they're just surrounded by Civil War. The past, and which thinking about war, all the destruction other than the soldiers. So many southern towns were just destroyed, and I guess that's where this one came from. This is called Crying Violin. And you have to imagine a violin player along with this. The Civil War was finally over. Southern soldier home again. He found no family, friends, or lover, just his old hidden violin. Now outside a small cafe where he first felt love begin, every evening he plays his crying violin. He plays for a meal or spare change few can leave. He plays and prays and wonders where his love can be. He says, crying violin, you remember her. She sang like the wind, her voice was pure and clear. Crying violin, she loved to dance in rain. How long has it been I've waited in vain? Can you bring her back again? Crying violin. On a balcony above, where he cannot see, she listens to his love songs, weeping silently. Her face disfigured by the war, she cannot let him know. The anguish in her heart echoes sorrow from below. She says, crying violin, I belong to him. That's how it's always been, something deep within. Crying violin, they say he waits for me. You hold on to him as he holds my memory, till I dance again with him. Crying violin. She'll be on the morning train to a northern city far away, where skilled surgeons may restore lost beauty to her face. She says, crying violin, help me through this endless night. She doesn't know the final battle took her soldier's sight. To him she'll always be the fair young beauty that she was. The day they hid his violin and he was off to join the cause. Crying violin, cry forevermore, for every loving heart torn apart by war. Crying violin, cry for all of them, till the final war shall end. Crying we sing and dance again, crying violin. I was glad to get through that. A year ago I had a stroke and it pretty much zapped the whole left side here. So I'm just getting to where I can make a few chords now, and it's wonderful. And I finally have an excuse for forgetting lyrics. Okay, I have another song to do. Now I remember.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, certainly.
Have you ever performed that song at a Civil War reenactment?
It's on my list.
I think that would be amazing. I know that would be just
Yes.
so well received.
I've
I have
done
some
it.
friends that are reenactors.
Wonderful. Well, I'll get in touch with you. I've got a couple of versions of it with a fiddle player playing along, and it just makes it wonderful. I haven't got the final result yet, but I'm still working on that. I better do another lighter one. Someone asked me why I write songs, and I said it was to fill an emptiness and to empty a fullness. Old Newton, no, that's too high. Old Newton McGraw had the meanest wife you ever saw. She made that poor old Newton toe the lines, till he knew he had to find some good excuse to get away now and then or lose his mind. Well, he finally hit upon his big idea. He went out and bought a pack of good coon hounds. Whenever that old woman started getting on his nerves, he'd go out hunting coon all night long. One night somewhere way out in the backwoods, he found the cabin of that lonely Witter Jones. Moody tried to fight her off best he could. Her sweet perfume just made spaghetti of his bones. Now when Nudie got back home in the morning, his old woman was suspicious as could be. She said, "Ain't that perfume a smell all over you?" He said, "No, dear, it's that new potion I put on the dogs to kill their fleas." Now all Nudie's coonhounds wear perfume, same kind that you'd find on Witter Jones. All Nudie's coonhounds wear perfume. Those fleas laugh so hard they just fall off on the ground. Now old Nudie, he goes hunting more and more. The dogs of his, they're looking mighty poor. They're ashamed to tree a coon wearing all that cheap perfume. But Nudie don't care what they don't catch anymore. Today Nudie's wife passed the Witter Jones at the corner store. One whiff of that perfume about made her sneeze. take her long to put two and two together. She figured out that Whitter Jones must have fleas. And that's why all nudies coonhounds wear Chanel number K9 perfume.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Thank you. This guy's a great storyteller.
Absolutely.
Our next performer for the evening is Brenda. Brenda Park, come on up. Don't be shy. I'm going to let you do your own introduction.
I'm gonna sit. First of all, I just want to thank Bryan. It was interesting how I just happened to see a flyer one night when I was at a coffee shop, and the songwriting classes were starting like that week, that coming week. So I thank him for his guidance and his support, and just his help in being there, and Mindy, because she was a cheerleader there every time too we met. I started playing. I wrote poetry a lot since I was a little kid, and then I started writing. I started to try and write songs when I was probably about the same time, around 2011. So anyway, the first one I'm going to sing is the week that I started that class. I had part of a song already started, and it happened to be the week of the birthday of someone very dear that I lost. And actually, it was a year ago. Last Wednesday was the year anniversary of his death. So I kind of wanted to have something for his birthday, so I brought it. And when Bryan said, "Did anybody bring anything?" and I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of did." So, so as the weeks progressed, then I finished it. So I'm going to do that one first. So this is for my friend, and it's called My Blue-Eyed Friend, or Blue-Eyed Friend. I look out into the night. I don't see stars, it don't seem right for it to be the end. My blue-eyed friend. How we sat and pondered life. We laughed at love, we laughed at strife. My heart can't seem to mend. I miss my blue-eyed friend. Now you're a part of the mystery I have to wait to see. Someday you'll show me around. We can bounce off a cloud so high in the sunshine, celestial sky. Grab onto an angel's wing. Could there be a better thing? Last night happy and floating free, he stopped to visit in my dream. We sat and talked ethereal style, found myself greeting the morning with a smile. It's not forever, just for now, and I'll get through it all somehow. Be kind to right my time I'll spend, and be like my blue-eyed friend. To you my love I send, till I see you, blue-eyed friend. Now you're a part of the mystery I have to wait to see. Someday you'll show me around. We can bounce off a cloud so high in the sunshine, celestial sky. grab onto an angel's wing. Could there be a better thing? Oh, wouldn't that be cool? Thank you for listening to that.
Brenda made a point to thank me for hosting these things, and I want to thank Brenda for being there. She was actually able to come out for every single one of them. And it was great to have you there, by the way. I don't know if I've said that enough, but.
Thank you.
And yeah, Blue Eyed Friend was the first song that she brought to us. And why don't you, while I'm getting set up, tell us a little bit about this next one.
All right. This one I'm nervous about. I'm even more nervous about this one. I didn't realize there'd be so many people here. It's like, I didn't have to go to the bathroom until I got up here.
We'll wait.
So I'm going to use my little cheat thing. When Bryan suggested we do a summer song, I thought, oh, summer song. And so it was probably 3 or 4 days before we were meeting next, and I hadn't really started a summer song. So I was looking out my window up at the sky on a summer afternoon, and I thought, I just got this picture of this woman in her older years kind of sitting on her porch, looking out at the sky, summer sky, and remembering a particular summer. And that's what this is called. So this is Love in the Summertime. So
I'm going to watch you for the slow down parts and everything, so you're leading.
oh God, okay,
I'll play nice and slow.
all right.
This, we went round and round with this one to figure out the guitar parts, so Brenda, if you need anyone to blame, you can blame me. You ready?
I'm ready. All right. She said, oh, sorry.
She's excited.
I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous.
She sat on her porch swing, stray clouds led to reminiscing youth. Summer scenes paraded by, her heart joined in to revel in the truth. The lazy days and sunny afternoons, memories rushed in on waves of two, in love in the summertime. Laughter spiked their poolside dreams, floating till the stars found the way home. Meadow blanket picnics served as respite for the daylight trails roamed. Slumber found under black velvet sky. Sweet messages nestled in the sighs of love in the summertime. Was that summertime.
And to round out the evening, I would like to invite up Beth. You ready?
Need to grab my guitar.
Gotcha. And you need the music stand as well. That's set up for you. Did you want to sit or stand?
Doesn't matter. Something's fine. Thank you.
You just let me know where you need the.
Okay, that's good. I won't make any qualms or excuses to why I need the words, except that I do. They're like a, I don't know, a bit of a security blanket, I suppose, because most of these haven't seen the light of day. So. So my name's Beth Gardner, and really want to thank Bryan for offering this, and the museum for hosting, the get-togethers, and the library for hosting now. Sometimes when you write, it feels like you're the only one. You know there's other people doing it. You don't know where they're hiding. So it's really nice to have the opportunity to meet other people who are doing it. This first song came from a songwriting prompt that I actually got from, there's this great thing called FAWM, F-A-M-W-M, which stands for February Album Writing Month. It's an online community that tries to write an entire the goal is to write an entire album in the shortest month of the year. I usually get about 2 songs out of it. Yeah, eventually maybe I'll have a whole album's worth. But it was February, I was sick, the weather was lousy, and the prompt was write a song about dreaming. I'm like, I'm dreaming of spring. And I thought about it from the perspective that really the things we look forward to in the spring as adults aren't really that different than the things we look forward to as kids. Bundling up against the cold, after a while it sure gets old, and I find myself more and more dreaming of spring, ready to trade the snow for rain, pattering on the window pane, bringing life to earth again, dreaming of spring. I'll leave the snowball fights behind to splash in the spring storm puddles that we find, trading gloves for galoshes and umbrellas raised on high as we sing, dreaming of spring. Pack away sweaters and getting out shorts, remembering Frisbee is my favorite sport, trading Christmas tree for treehouse forts, dreaming of spring. Shedding my winter coat and hat to lie on a hillside of fresh green grass, studying clouds as they pass, dreaming of spring. Sun and rainbows to replace the gray, put on the flower crowns of May. I'll even mow the lawn if I can put the shovel away, far away, dreaming of spring. Don't let it be too far away, dreaming of spring. The second song, I was lucky enough once to be able to take a whole week and go up to the Omega Institute and take some songwriting work for the week with some songwriters I really love, David Wilcox and Beth Nielsen Chapman. And it was a lot of fun. And I knew I was going to be going up there. I'd have a whole week to write, and I thought I better go packed with some ideas. And I knew I wanted to write a song about a bookstore. And so I definitely crowdsourced. I got on Facebook and said, okay, what comes to mind when you think of like your favorite bookstore? And you know, bookstores, libraries, they're magic. They're just magic. And I got lots of feedback. Oh, this, that, and the other thing. And I have to give credit where credit's due. It is entirely possible Sherry might recognize some of the songs in here because she gave me some of these ideas. But there's this great bookstore in Oberlin. It's part of the Ben Franklin's that's still there. It's half of the Ben Franklin's. It's this old bookstore. And instead of using the Dewey Decimal System, they just have these little pieces that stick out from the shelf saying history or, you know, relationships or whatever. So, you know, you just went and looked for what the tab that covers what you want. I'm like, you know, if only there was a love section that would, you know, make everything all clear. So history starts here and, you know, philosophy starts there. What if love starts here? And that's where I went from. I'll move this forward just a touch. I come in off the street, hear the bell sound my arrival, stroke the back of the bookstore cat who's napping in a chair. Close my eyes, take a breath, the musty smell of paths untaken. I open eyes and see the dust glitter in the air. I bring my life's many questions, broken dreams and a broken soul, and I leave them on the counter with $1 for my tea. As I face the books before me, I feel the gift of absolution and ask the books what's waiting there for me. Love starts here, between these tattered pages. Love starts here, in the rhythm and the rhyme. Love starts here, and the stories they are telling come one page, one word, one moment at a time. I run my hands along the bindings, read the titles as I'm going. Histories, adventures, tales of love and war, self-important first editions next to paperback romances, lessons learned by travelers before. I take a book and let it open to a place I've never been before, and pray that it might show me the key to unlock my inhibitions, find the life that I've been longing for before there's nothing left of me. I take my purchase to the counter, and I hope these books will bless me as I head off on a journey towards the great unknown. And perhaps in their wisdom they will point a new direction that sets the compass firmly towards home. Love starts here, between these tattered pages. Love starts here, in the rhythm and the rhyme. Love starts here, and the stories we are writing come one page, one word, one moment at a time. Come one page, one word, one moment at a time. Thanks. And the last one I've got, I do this thing called contra dancing. I don't know if anyone here has heard of it or done it. Yay! Someone's heard of it and done it?
Heard of it.
Oh, okay, heard of it at least.
Seen it.
Contra dancing is a lot like square dancing. It's what developed in New England at the same time as square dancing was developing more in the South. It's very similar. It's done with live music and a caller. And what's really fun is sometimes you can go away for a whole weekend and, you know, with like 250 other people. And this song has is about contra dancing and that energy that builds up that you get to use. And there's lots of different dance moves in here, but the real important thing to know is the magic happens when the caller says balance and swing, because that's when you get to go back to your partner, take him up in your arms, and that's the moment you've been waiting for the whole dance. Oh, better spread both pages out or I'll be in trouble. Oh, where's my other page?
There's some on the back.
Yeah, there's some on, no, that's not it.
Oh, the other side, the other one.
Oh, never mind, it's all on one page. How'd that happen? When the sun it is falling, I can hear the fiddle calling. It's telling me it's time to roam. So I pack my shoes and throw them in the back of the car, and I set my sights away from home. Oh, the moon it is bright, and our friends are here tonight. The crowds just keep rolling in. We all take to the floor when we hear hands four, and the dance is ready to begin. I'll leave the world behind me where the boss will never find me, and that old alarm clock never rings. When the moon is up, I'll race you to the top of the hill, and I'll take you in a balance and swing. The set circles four and just a little more to make wavy lines up and down. Balance to each side and spin to the right. Turn the next one all the way around. Feet are pounding and the floor is resounding. You can hear it for a good country mile. The band is playing and the music is saying, forget about your cares for a while. I'll leave the world behind me where the boss will never find me, and that old alarm clock never rings. When the moon is up, I'll race you to the top of the hill, and I'll take you in a balance and swing. There's a butterfly world and a promenade, your girl, a gypsy and some do-si-dos. Petronella twirl and even contra corners, on and on the evening goes. The music is slowing and we know it's time for going. One more waltz and then they'll make us clear the floor. I'll say goodnight, my friend, but when the moon is full again, we'll all be back to dance some more. I'll leave the world behind me where the boss will never find me, and that old alarm clock never rings. When the moon is up, I'll race you to the top of the hill, and I'll take you in a balance and swing. When the moon is up, I'll race you to the top of the hill, and I'll take you in a balance and swing. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Beth. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Jim. Anne from ArtsinStark is not here, but again, I want to thank ArtsinStark. If nobody has any questions for the performers, looks like Lee does.
How many of these, how many did you have in the group?
How many people?
Songwriters, yeah.
Oh, I mean, combined we had maybe 10 or 11.
Okay.
Not everyone could make it at every single one, but
Now,
total we
I'm-
had about 10 or 11.
I'm Lorenz Hart, Oscar Hammerstein, Ira Gershwin. In other words, I want to write songs, all I can do is words.
Mhm.
I can't write a note down if it killed me. Did you have any just plain lyricists then, or you all do both?
Well, I mean, if you look at it that way, Brenda would have been a lyricist, just with the word. Oh, you mean without any melodies to go with it?
She wrote those melodies. didn't she?
Right. Well, that's what I'm trying to.
No, I'm talking about
okay.
somebody that.
No,
there
we
used
just.
to be a thing called a lyricist, and
Oh,
all they
who
did was
just
write
did the.
words.
Gotcha. Not really anyone who just focused on
Yeah. Okay.
the lyrics and the rhythm of the lyrics. Everyone who came in either had the full song, music, guitar part, accompaniment. We had a couple keyboard folks. But yeah, there wasn't anybody that just said, hey, can somebody put music to this?
Yeah.
Did anybody have any questions for any specific songwriters? I'm sure we'd all want to know more about the stories behind some of Jim's songs. He had everybody laughing, that's for sure. But again, I want to thank you all so much. We will be hanging around, I'm sure, for a little bit if you think of anything. Thank you all so much for coming out. Very happy to have shared this evening with you. I appreciate you all coming out.
Are you doing this, are you doing it again?
I had no plans for it, only because in about a month and a half, my wife and I are expecting our first child, so that's probably going to take some more time. But ironically, it'll lead to some inspiration for songs, I'm sure. So at some point in the future, yes, I would like to do it again.
You'll be awake at times where you can...
Exactly. 3 in the morning when the ideas just start flowing in, so I believe it.
I'd like to...
Going from a duet to a trio.
Oh.
Oh, that's well. We already made that. My wife already does harmonies. We made the joke that as soon as he gets a rattle in his hand, he can do the percussion.
That's
It's
good.
already kicking along in time. So
Right.
we're all set.
Yeah, we went to the Michael Stanley concert at the Palace Theater, and apparently he was kicking in time to some of the songs. So he's already got rhythm, which is a good sign.
That's pretty awesome. I thought everybody did a terrific job.
Oh yeah.
There was a turn of the phrase that I really liked. Did she get old or did old get her?
You know what, I have to tell you the story behind that, because I had a patient, and one day we were talking, and I didn't know what we were talking about, and she said, and I had it on my desk for the longest time because it always stuck with me, and she said, she wrote stories, and she said, she told me about this one character, and she goes, she wasn't getting old, old was getting her. And that always stuck in my head, and this was many years ago. And so when I got this idea for that, I thought, oh my gosh, I've got a place to use that, and in a way, it was my way to honor her.
No, that was very unique.
So it wasn't mine. But you remember, you used it.
Well, that goes into what I was saying, and this is for anybody, if you're ever interested in songwriting, you already have the songs inside you. They're made up of everything that you've already experienced. You may have, compartmentalized them and smushed them in places, and you may not recognize them at first glance. It may be a memory. It may be the picture in your head you get when you smell a certain fragrance. Those are already there inside you. You just have to write them down.
Did you put haiku to music?
I suppose. I've never tried. Why, do you write haikus?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
I went to a haiku conference in Santa Fe, New Mexico, but there was nobody there with the music to go with it. And while I was there, I thought, why is there no music to go with this poetry? And
Are
I
they
thought,
traditionally written with music?
No.
Oh.
Well, they would, in the Japanese culture, they would be spoken with some Japanese percussion type things, maybe behind them for emphasis, if they were performed, but there's no tune per se.
Gotcha.
But, and contrary to popular belief, haiku is not always written in 5/7/5. That blew my mind, because I was just kind of a novice. I wrote some in high school, and then thought, well, I think I'd like to get into this again. So maybe I'll just make up that thing.
We're creating a new art form, okay? I like it. Any other questions? Anybody have any stories to tell?
My husband's father used to drive a Nichols bakery. And he
I probably owed him some money.
Sorry, Sorry, Jim, I blew your cover. This whole thing.
I worked at Nichols Bakery. And one night, the machine that puts the sesame seeds on the buns broke down. So guess what I did all night? I had a bucket and I stood there all night and threw seeds on buns. That was my job for 8 hours that day. Yeah. Among other things. That was crazy.
Thank you all so much, and thanks for sharing the stories too. That's see, little gems of songs right there. That's what I was just saying. Yes, cookies and coffee, bottle of water. I'm sure you can still get a library card at the children's counter if you need one.